That's what we're missing. If we have refreshments.
I'll share without refreshments.
Yeah. I have PT at 11:30. Maybe I can come 1:45. Can we do it at 1:45? Question mark. Or 4:45 in the afternoon? Question mark. Okay. Machtes C. Tell me when you're ready to start.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Good evening, Rabbi. Once again, another limud in Kedusha Shabbos, organization that was started earlier this year. At least I became aware of it, based on the inyan of not the Shomer Shabbos Lekachay, but the Zohar, what we would call the Chelek of Oneg Shabbos. We've given Shurim already on the Sugyas of Lechem Mishnah, whether you have to have it for all the Seudas. Kisui, to cover over the Chalas, you have to do that for Suda Shlishas. We talked about Lechem Mishnah was, can you use frozen bread? Can you use Pasakum? We talked about when a person makes early Shabbos, do they have to eat a Seuda at nighttime? Shitas Maral, the Bach. Tonight's Sugya is Achilas Chamin b'Shabbos. Chazal tell us that when the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah, he gave a Torah shebechsav and a Torah shebal peh. And he told us, Medav hitn Shabbos, Sheishes yomim tavoid v'sisa kol ma'achtech v'yom yishi Shabbos Hashem alekecha. On the 6 days you work, on the 7th day is Shabbos. What do you do and what don't you do? Chazal say, Es mikdoshai tiro v'shabsosai tishmayru, the kesher between the Beis HaMikdash and Shabbos, what you do to build the Mishkan and make V'asali Mikdash, what you do for that on Shabbos, punkt is the things you don't do. And as we'll see, Kedusha Shabbos and Kedusha's Mikdash are tied together. But the Torah Kedosh also says, no fire should be burnt. For those people who took the Torah literally, by tusim, stukim, for them that meant you can't have fire in your house on Shabbos. For them, the food that you ate on Shabbos, if it was warmed up on Erev Shabbos, was warm. Over Shabbos in the free, Shabbos in the morning, kalt, cold. And that's wrong. Because the Torah Kedosha says, doesn't mean that you can't have fire burning in your house. You can light candles on Erev Shabbos, and can sin, it can stay lit. And you can be matmin oichel, and you can put warm up food and keep it warm in a way that you don't have to worry about a person stoking the frames, in a way that he won't be machal Shabbos. And from that came what Chazal called the heilige Cholent. Cholent is kedei lahoitzi melibam shel tzedukim, to be moitzi from the opinion and the apicursus of not believing in Chachamim. In saying that, when the Torah says you can't make a fire, that literally means you can't have a fire in your house. I can't have a fire in your house, I'm not supposed to have warm food. Sheker. It's not true. It's not true. The Torah does nicht gemeint. Who told us that? The Chachamim. So if you have your pamphlet over here and you open up on page 1, the Ramah brings down in Simin Reish Nun Zayin, state mitzvah lahatmin b'Shabbos. It's a mitzvah of atmona kidei sheyoichal chamin b'Shabbos ki zeh mechabed v'oinik Shabbos. V'chol mi she'enoi ma'amin. If a person does not believe b'divrei chachamim, ve'oiser oichlin achilas chamin b'Shabbos, if a person says, you're not allowed to eat that, how did you have that warm food? Chayshinan shema minuhu. Cholent. You have to be worried. And maybe he's an apikairis. Why is he not eating? And what happens to a person? I just don't like cholent. I have to eat it anyway. Is the mitzvah of achilas chamin b'Shabbos a din in Oneg Shabbos? So a din in Oneg Shabbos, I don't like it. Do something to me. I don't like al tam vareach ein lehit vakeach. I don't like it. It's not my Oneg. So I don't have other name. There is the mitzvah of eating, the inyan of eating chamin is lo hoitzim meliban shel tzedaikim. You have to go out of your way and show that you believe in divrei chachamim, and by not eating, you're not fortifying. You're not taking a position of positivity. So I don't care if you like it or not. The dafstas essen anyway. That's the shaila. What's the gedra of achilas chamin? So I did an Oneg Shabbos, and if that's all it is in Oneg Shabbos, then beseder. So not my Oneg. I don't like it. No problem. Other name. It's more than that. It's not just Oneg. It's also lohoitzi melibon to take it out of those who are an apikairis. And therefore, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat it. You should eat it anyway. Take a look at the Mogen Avram. Over here, it's on your page. Ois chof, mitzvah lahatman. Take a look what he says. Same page, Rabbi say. Mi, avo mi, shemazik loy hachamin. Pay attention to the verbiage, because the Mefarshim are going to be medayik in the Mogen Avram. He doesn't say mi she'ena oyhev, or a person who doesn't like it. He says mi shemazik loy hachamin. It hurts him. It's mazik him. Mutter le'echol tzainan. He can eat tzainan. Why did he use such an extreme word, mazik? Mashma, that if it's not mazik you, I just say chabas nishlib. I just don't like it. Yeah, but is vusi, so you don't like it. But you have to be l'haitzi meliban. Another question. Someone's going to yovei aben v'yishal. So can I just have like a hot cup of tea? They wouldn't be able to have a hot cup of tea because they don't have anything hot. So can I have a hot cup of tea? Can I have a cup of coffee? Shabbos in the free, nothing like a nice warm cup of coffee. Dafka has to be the hatmona and the cholent bedafka. That's what we're going to learn about tonight. That's unser subject. What's the gedder of the din of chamin? And if a person can't eat chamin or doesn't want to eat chamin, what do they do to replace it? Let's go on. Page 2. This is from the Shari Tshuva. You can see where it's the area that's misuman, where there's the gray at the side. Takana gedvatmana chamin takana gedoylehi. Hatmana is a grace of takana the tikna rabbana mishum Oneg Shabbos. Shari kol yemaisa chayil oichol adam tavshel. A person eats food as he wishes. Ubeshabbos tiknu chachamim lahatman be'erev Shabbos kedei sheyishtamer machol b'chamimosoi sheyacham b'Shabbos. They wanted specifically you should have nice warm food. V'roiv min hachitzonim talmidim baisus. Those people who are the talmidim of those who do not believe in divrei chachamim. And now he uses some very, very harsh language. Their bones should rot. Ashehitu eskolatoyim, they've steered away er lechayidin. They've come along and said Chamin is osir. Tipach rucham. Even if lu yitzur, you would leave food al ha'esh. You leave food on top of gacholim. Why is it osir? Only because shemi yachati, you might come to stoke it. So Olam understand. Just FYI, a little piece of, you know what a plata is? What's a plata? Something you plug in and it heats up the food. In America, they sell it too. But in America, there's a dial. And that dial will regulate the heat. That's a problem. You can't use that. Do you know why? Because you might come to turn the heat up or down. That's right. Ki'ilu stoking. Fustaf mentin, what do you have to do? So they created something very simple. You plug it in, it's totally sagur, it's totally closed up. There's no knobs, there's no nothing. All it is a plata, that's it. Meaning to say it's a hot plate which has no knobs, no dials, no nothing. Nothing that you can control the heating element. That's the way, it's a perfect hatmona, that's the einfal, that's what the plata, the hot plate, that of course they sell it over here too, but that's the lumdus. If you ever use a blech, and you notice the way they make blechs is it's made like L-shaped. Why? It's not just straight, it's made to cover up the knobs. Because a chelik of being able to expose food to fire or to heat on Shabbos has to be done in a way that you cannot manipulate, you can't move any of the knobs to make it hot or cold. If you use a crock pot, and the front of the crock pot has a dial, warm thing, but what do you mean? You might move it. Either you pull the dial off, or you put a little bit of silver aluminum foil on top of it, so to be able to remember, make a hecker, touch nicht. Touch nicht. You're not allowed to. So says the Sharei Tshuva, Me'ikri de Dina, Harei machol atzma yishniach adam me'er v'agab be'gecholim, lo yosu Rabbi seinu, el mishum shemi yichata be'gecholim. Exposing food to fire, do what they say, which is taking the words of the Torah literally. You can't have a fire. That's sheker. That's not true. That's not what the Torah Kedusha meant. It means you can't do it in a way, says Chazal, that would ignite or that cause to make a fire. Avol aser min ha-Torah, there's no ein by min ha-Torah. Hilkoch. If you're not eating Chamin on Shabbos because of what they said, because you're not allowed to have something hot, bar niduihu, you could be put into cherem, exactly. V'derech minus yesh boy, and he's a person who's an apikoiris. V'tzorech lahafrishoy mekahal Yisrael. Wow. You should separate v'yesh lanu ledaktek achrov. So mekim taran, you come in Shabbos in the morning, you offer somebody cholent, and he says no, thank you. He says no, thank you. Says the Sharei Tshuva. Why? You ask him, how you feeling? You have a stomach ache? Ata beseder? You okay? Medaktek achrov. Mishum choyle. If a person says, you know what, I just don't like it. I'll share with you personally. Every Shabbos by us in Village Green Shul, we have a Kiddush Baruch Hashem. So do Vada Mekigel, so do Cholent, but I don't make myself fleshik. I have a little bit of herring, Machta L'chaim, but that's it. Right? Cholent, I'll eat my Rebbitzins Cholent. No competition. I'm not ready to have too much. But the Olam knows, it's not because Chulil, I hope Cholent, Baruch Hashem. But you don't have to eat every single Cholent. But yeah, Chazal said because of the sensitivity of the subject, because of the sensitivity of the subject. You see a person is not eating chamin. Are you not well? As long as he doesn't have any philosophical reasons of why he's not doing it. As long as it's not philosophical. If it's just because I'm not in the mood, say there. You should let him know that Chazal said you're supposed to be Oneg the Shabbos. A person should, if you're eating heilige Cholent the way Chazal meant it, then you're doing a mitzvah. Then you're actually doing a mitzvah. Moving right along. The Baal Amor, Rabbi Nuzrachi Alevi, had very sharp words about people who don't eat Chamin on Shabbos. And he says, V'yesh oimrim, ki takonas Rabbi Seinu hu la'anek Shabbos b'chamin. Avo mi she'ein oichol Chamin, tzorich b'dik achvim minhu. If a person has Shkan Cholent, is not eating something hot, you know, some people will have soup overnight. They'll have soup overnight, and that's what they'll have instead of having chbashen gezen. It's not my minig. Chbashen gezen, some people will have varma soup, and that's what they have. Or they'll have rice with meat, and that's their chamin. But he says if a person doesn't want to eat any of that, v'im meis at this stage, yisasku boy amimim. You know, which means that we don't give him a very nice burial at this point in time. You have to check. That's an important word. But a person who eats vilahashmin, you know what it means, lahashmin? Lahashmin shamen. As fat. He digs into it and he poshed his mashmin. Now you're doing Oneg Shabbos. That's the words of Zachi Alevi. Hu hamamin. The Zoichel Lekeit Sayamin. Ered Gain Keneged Mashiach Tzedkenu. The Zoichel Lekeit Sayamin. He's going to make it. Because he's the one who's maimin by the Eibishter. Zog Mate Moshe. Page 4. Kosev Abu Draham. Shamati b'shem Rabbi Nizrachi Alevi. Explanation of what we just read. You have to check after him. See if he's legit. He says like this. Shekosov Yoise Shekosov al she'enai mamin va'oiser bechamin rotzo loimer she'enai oichloi machmas she'sover she'iser bedover. He said the reason the person's not eating because he holds its osir. Lezei yesh adakta gol of shemu min avo mi she'enai oichol machmas she'ke'ev loi achilas chamin she'koi Cholent. Setitem vai. In English it means it hurts him. He gets indigestion. He doesn't stomach it. Oneg sheloi hu le'echol tzoinan.
What's tzoinan?
Cold.
Oh, okay.
Some people, that's my oneg. Some, not me. But some people will say, now listen to this, achidish noira. Koru be'einai. If a person says, I really don't like this, then by eating it, you're not being ma'aneg the Shabbos. And by eating it, you're paining yourself, you're punishing yourself, that's also asur. We've got to be honest here. If the person be'emes, really, it's not an Oneg Shabbos, asur le'echol chamin. To mitzayele b'masha oichel. And I'm going to tell you a major chiddush. 2 points. V'gedoy le'mezu kosev ha'shibay le'leket. Rabbi Kiva was crying on Shabbos. Miturnish veinen. Shabbos terminish veinen. You're not allowed to cry on Shabbos. You know what Rabbi Kiva said? Zeu Oneg sheli. Zeu Oneg sheli. It sounds Litvish. Zeu Oneg sheli. Rabbi Kiva has gesagt, the heilige Tana Rabbi Kiva. Yesh moichichem mekan. She'odom she'mazekes lo yachilosoi. If it hurts him, the oz oinig shaloi echol, the kemat who also leechol the mitzayer b'masha oichol. The Amaskim says the Mata Moshe, if setitach takavei, if it hurts you, turmanished. I'm going to tell you even a bigger chiddush. Zok there. Vehevi ha'ogor v'agoyis maimini. Odom hamisane b'chol yoim. Agoyis maimini was a rishon. A person who fasts every day. So do a heilige Yidden, they fast every day. V'achila b'Shabbos tsar loy. And eating on Shabbos is difficult for him. Because 6 days, his stomach shrunk. He's fasting I know such Yidden. Every day, they fast. At least one I know. And when it comes to Shabbos, he's not used to eating. It's not normal. The din is Re'inu kame chasidim va'anshe maisa she'isanu b'Shabbos matam zeh. As I state in Agoyis Maimoni, I saw anshe maisa who fasted on Shabbos because that was their oneg. The oneg given nish zu essen. V'chein shamati Rabbi Yehuda HaChosid. The Agoyis Maimoni zogt an edus of Rabbi Yehuda HaChosid shoya oisakei. Not one of the popular Rabbi Yehuda HaChosids that we know. He fasted, and for him, all his life, he says, Azoy shteit Agoyis Maimoni. De'im eilu agdolim kosvu, de'im achilu tsar loy umazik loy, yesh lo afilu lesanik b'Shabbos. If they can say, not eating anything is there oinig Shabbos, megayid zoger ayid could say, setit mechvei, I can't eat it. And if that's where he's at, kol sheken kai gavna shemachilas chamin mazekes loy the oinig shaloi leechol tsoinon v'loy letzar nafshe b'achilas chamin. He can go ahead and say mitzad oinig Shabbos. In other words, to go so far and to go kineged the baitusim where you'll jeopardize your oinig Shabbos, that much you don't have to do. That much you don't have to do. Umishein oicho b'gai gavnet soinen v'olav nemer ksil b'choy shechoylech v'dach lo yikan yanua v'im binais v'alken lo yirochem achoynen means the pshat is a person shouldn't put himself into such a matzav where he's mitzayer himself to go ahead and eat just like simeliba. Is vos tuter. So what should he do? Reb Shmuel Kamenetsky, Zoller Sein Gesund, writes, you go ahead and you look in Hilchos Shabbos on page 8. Skip ahead to page 8 for a minute. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh b'dvaroi. Kosovar Amah. See what that is on page 8, where it says Hilchos Shabbos. Kovetz halachas from Rabbi Shmuel Kamenetsky Zoller Sein Gesund. Kosovar Amah mitzvah lahatman b'Shabbos k'dei she'echol chamin k'zeh mekovet Shabbos. You're supposed to be what we saw tonight in the beginning. Because v'achroinim shema chametz ma'azekas ein tzorich lo'echlam v'hu adinim nafshei kotzem mehem dinah hachi. I want to add a point. In Magen Avraham state mazik. Ich bin Moisef. And as we just saw, nafshi kotze, he can't stomach it. It's not mazik, but he doesn't like it. Umiyu anoch ledakte b'chi agav l'kai minik chamin ha'idei shtias kois chamin. Kegon coffee or tea. So then if you can't have avada Cholent, have some coffee, have some tea, says Reb Shmuel Kamenetsky, Zoller Sein Gesund, you're yoitze, your din of chamin. So you think in Chamin. And that's your tainig. And that's your tainig. That's good enough. Comes the Heilige B'nai Yissaschar. Das ist gewesen Litvish, now we're going to learn Hasidish. Comes the Heilige B'nai Yissaschar and says, if a Yid puts aside Cholent L'Kovit Shabbos, and a person is Maimin in Chazal, it's not going to be Masakim. Okay? Let's see it inside. As I state the Diniver. Let's see it in.
The Shari Tshuva argues with the Magen Avraham, but it seems from his lashon of the Shari Tshuva.
How so?
Shari Tshuva says, Eino Toyev L'Oisem Nachal.
You mean he just doesn't like it? Like Reb Shmuel is saying over here, he doesn't say the word mazik.
Magen Avraham
Used a strong lashon of mazik.
it seems like they're arguing.
Yes. As I state, you're mechaven to one of the pieces over here. I saw it inside, but you're mechaven to what? L'chayr, it's meduyik from the Magen Avraham. You're saying good, Reb Shmuel. It's meduyik from the Magen Avraham that it has to be dafka mazik, but if he doesn't want it, as I state. But you see, Reb Shmuel Lamaisa held, and he paskined that if you don't like it, that's good enough. You can be yoitza a different way, and you'll have Oneg Shabbos, and you'll be yoitza living shal tzedukim. Says the Bnei Yissaschar, Mishu itznis Bnei Choil. See where it is in letter Yudai, 3 lines in. He can't eat overnight hot foods during the weekday. And during the weekday, his nature is it's going to bother him. B'Shabbos lo yidag al zeh. B'Shabbos lo yidag al zeh. Don't worry. Oichlu anovim v'yisbu. Dihine berech Hashem yizbarach Hashem HaShabbos. The Eibishter blessed Shabbos. Shehei b'macholim hanizomim b'shviloi tamim atamim adanim. That the Eibishter made that these foods should have a special time of Shabbos. Right? As we know, Rashi says, what's the pshat in the Neshama Yisera? You know the Rashi? What was Rashi in the Neshama Yisera? A person, right, oichol, he can eat and drink, I think is a lotion. Ve'einai soy, right, ve'einai kotz, or ve'einai nizba.
Nafshi kotza.
Right, ve'einai nafshi kotza. My Rebbe gesagt, Scheiner Rabbi Moshe Shapiro, he said, "Das ist die größte Sache. Wir können noch a Kartoffel, noch a potato. That's the Neshama Yisera." So he said a gewaltige Wort. He said like this. He based it on Nishmas Kol Chai. When we say Nishmas, we say Ilu Finu Mole Shira Kayom Ul Shanei Norina Kamangalav. No matter how big our body would be, our mouth could be like the whole ocean, and our tongue like the waves. Our big, no matter how big, we can never be able to thank you. So then, what do we say afterwards? Then we say, Al Kain, Neshama Shenasata. Right, the Neshama that you gave me, that's going to give you the Shevach. Right? Hein Yoidu. Fragen Allah, you're so yourself, Minei Ubei. On the one hand, you say, no matter how big you are, you can't say thank you. Al Kain Neshama. What's going on? So he's brought down that Nishmas is the tefillah of the Neshama Yisera. You only say Nishmas on those days where there's Neshama. That's why in Hachana Rabbah, it's not a Yom Tiv, so it's talking Neshama Yisera and Hachana Rabbah, Zokman Nishmas. Nishmas is the tefillah of Neshama Yisera. You know what Neshama Yisera is? Moshe said like this, Al Pi Rashi. No matter how big your goof is, no matter how big it is, but it's mugbal, it's limited. It's limited. The Neshama Yisera gives a person an opportunity to go beyond limitations. It goes beyond, that means to say, no matter how big my goof would be, but I'm finite and you're infinite. And something finite cannot be mishabeach something infinite. Because how big, my mouth could be this big, but as big as it is, it's still a finite, it means it's limited. It's finite, and you're infinite. But the neshama yisera is a chelek elekai mimal, the extra neshama of Shabbos puts us on a madrega of that we're also can have a shaykhis to you. We are gvulim, don't hold us back. You want to know how? Kennst essen and you're not going to get hung full. Kennst noch als essen. Das was Rashi zog, that you eat and you're not full, is a raya that the gvul of the weekday is not magbil you. What limits you during the week isn't hold you back on Shabbos Kodesh, because you have a neshama yisera. So you have a shaykhis to that infinity. A person has a gresed, the guf keilu has a capacity to do things that he doesn't have agan savach. So memela alkei neshama shenasata bi, the neshama yisera that you put in me, that neshama yisera, Dr. Rashi, is not limited to my regular weekdays. What my body does in the weekday and what my body does on Shabbos is zwei Sachen. Because on Shabbos, ich habe eine neshama yisera. That's the hezber efsher of this b'nei Yisachar. I feel it's mazik you mitten the vach of if a person's intention is kol kuloi, to be mechanik and mechabed the Shabbos and to be maimin and follow the words of Chazal. Zokter azoi keinu le'inyin ma'cholei Shabbos hagam shema'cholim ke'elu atmunim yoyim esbol mazikim leguf b'yoyim ha'chol. Because even though during the weekday they would bother you, kivim shein netmanim l'Shabbos shoyre bohem ha'broche, shoyre bohem ha'brocha. It's gebenched the food. It's gebenched the food. It's Shabbos tikkam ha'cholim. She'em mevusamim metam k'badanim ha'lochim. Arevim l'nefesh m'leguf. Umi shumamen l'divrei chachamim yavchin zeh. He'll see it bechush. But now I want to tell you a chiddush, and don't kill me. If you start eating cholent during the weekday, and Shabbos in the weekday. We all know that some of the gedolim in Eretz Yisrael gesagt that the Yetzer Hara we have to eat cholent Thursday night. Who am I talking over here? We have the Zera Shimshon Shiur, me'est. Medavisin lahavchin between what you do on Shabbos and the toyameho, that a person with toyameho was meant to taste it. Not zechunzes mit a groise teller, right, and go ahead and say, by the time Shabbos Kodesh comes along, you already can't eat anymore. That's not what we had in mind. It's not what Chazal had in mind when they said toyameho. That's already the Yetzer Hara mishing zechin. Right? If a person is be'emes ma'anig the Shabbos, that's all the Rebbeinu Shalom wants. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, Shabbos tuch me'ein olam haba. It's me'ein olam haba. How's a person supposed to know? You live a whole life, and you know one day you're going to have olam haba. V'yazoi vu ven ma. You know what David says? Let me give it to you on a miniature. Every 6 days, you work, Yom HaShvi, Shabbos, like Shabbos, you get an idea of what it's like. And the Eibush, the Villa, is also nob. Once you should enjoy it. Gesundheit. You can take the hot food of Erev Shabbos and bring us around in Shabbos and enjoy it too. And make it a chelik of your Oneg Shabbos. Gesundheit. But that's Taka Shabbos to get. It's not meant to be eaten during the week. It's meant to be for Shabbos. I just want to finish with this, as it is the 9 days. And even though me'esnish kamfleishiks during the week, unless a person goes to a siyum or has a bris or has what Chazal say you're allowed to, but Shabbos Kodesh, we're allowed to have basar, fakert, even if Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos. We push Tisha B'Av away to Sunday, to Yom Rishon. Shabbos is Heilig. Biur Adover. It's what we started off with. What the Beis HaMikdash is or was for the world in Mokaim is Shabbos and Zman. Is Shabbos and Zman. the days of the week have a kedusha, like the world, the Mokim has a kedusha. The Mokim Kodesh, the holy land, and the holiest place in that land, which is the Mokim Beis HaMikdash, which unfortunately we don't have because of our own sins. The churban of the Beis HaMikdash, the churban of a Mokim Kodesh in this world, was not, however, a churban of the Zman HaKedusha. The Mokim Kodesh we don't have, but the Zman HaKedusha we have. And there's something fascinating that connects the two. If I could just get a siddur with a Sefer Tehillim. I just need a Tehillim. In the back of the art school Siddurim, there'll be a Tehillim. Shkoyach. David HaMelech, you find in Tehillim, in two occasions, had a similar reaction about people who were, we'll call them what they are, Rishoyim, going Kineged Hashem. And how David HaMelech was able to console himself. We know on Mizmor Shiur L'Yom HaShabbos. We know in the Mizmor Shiur that we say L'Yom HaShabbos, we say the following nusach. A foolish person doesn't understand. Wicked people sprout like Esav, like grass. But on Shabbos, the Mizmor Shiur of Shabbos, we see when it comes Shabbos, Ki'ilu, there's a clarkite, there's a clarity that what you see that's happened during the week and all the success of those who are not righteous, when Shabbos comes, you have a clarity. You understand. The same thing is about the Beis HaMikdash. In Kapitel Ayin Gimel, it says like this. David HaMelech writes, Ki kinesi b'hoilalim. I was jealous of those people who were frivolous. Shalom rishoyim ere. I saw the peace of wicked. Ba'amal enesh eineme im adam lein. He said, L'chein, David HaMelech complained. How was it that all of these people, Amru eicha yoda kel, v'yesh deya be'elyon, hine ele rishoyim, these wicked people, shalve oilim esigucha, they have shalva, they have peace. Ach rik zochis, and I'm working for nothing. Amarti asapra, amalu be'enai, till ad ovoi el mikdash kel. When ich bin gekommen in the Beis HaMikdash, I came to the Mokim HaMikdash of Vino Lachrisam. I was able to see what really is going to happen. The same inyan that David HaMelech wrote about Shabbos, V'yitzitzu kol po'alei oven, that you live in a world where it looks like the people who are doing whatever they want have so much success. But then when the emes of real connection to the Eibishter, when Shabbos Kodesh comes along, then you're able to see those who really survive and those are really connected. He had the same feeling and the same hargosha when it came to the Beis HaMikdash. When he went around in the world and he saw success, but when it came to bringing those people to the Beis HaMikdash, coming to the Mokom HaMikdash, Gezen, vos is emes and vos is sheker. What Shabbos is in Zman is Mikdash in Mokim. Agam that we don't have a Beis HaMikdash, but we have a Zman of Kedusha that parallels the Zman of Beis HaMikdash. And indeed, in the Lashonos of L'Chadoidi, when we sing and we enter Shabbos, what we talk about is not just Shabbos, but is Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha. His nari me offer kumi, his iriri. We're talking about the Mokim HaMikdash, because Shabbos carries within it the koyach of Kedushas Mokim. And that's why Chazal say, ilmole shamru klal yisrael shnei Shabbosos miyad nigalin. If you could tap into the Kil Chosan, Shkoyach Mendel. Kil Chosan, mit Essen Cholent. Kil Chosan, if you keep the Shabbos the way you're supposed to, alle Sachen, if we keep the Shabbos the way we're supposed to, the energy that would enter the world through Kedusha Shabbos will gemacht a Beis HaMikdash. Miyad Nigolim. The Beis HaMikdash could come back to this world through the Kedusha of Shabbos, because they're one and the same. One is in Mokum and one is in Zman. One is in Mokum and one is the Zelbe Kedusha. Bringing the energy of Shabbos. That's why Shabbos, during the 9 days, is Shabbos Kodesh. You have Medaf Ma'anik Zayin the Shabbos. You have to enjoy it. You have to Zochar this Shamar. Beit it zusammen. Because it's through Shmira Shabbos, Kehil Chosan. It's through Shmira Shabbos, Kehil Chosan, that we're Zoicha to the Kedusha's Beis HaMikdash. That's Taka the Zelbe Kedusha. And the only people who can do it is us. My Rabbi at Iber gesagt, Ravid steht, Oilam Nefesh Shana. Oilam Nefesh Shana. Oilam, what exists in the world, exists in the Nefesh, exists in the Shana. Oilam in the world is Beis HaMikdash. Shana is Shabbos, and Nefesh is the Nefesh of Klal Yisrael, who are Scheiner the Shabbos. When we keep Shabbos, then we bring that Kedusha. It's called Mokem HaMikdash. We're the ones who brought the Beis HaMikdash down to this world. The Eibishter was Mashre Scheiner through us. Unfortunately, we're the ones that has a vegetriben, which we sent it away. And through our Kedusha Shabbos and the Ma'anik Shabbos, we'll be able to bring it down B'Korev B'Meira B'Yameinu. Shekoyach. Was sagst du?